Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Crystal Beast deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck is an extremely fun deck to play that we just got some amazing support for out of Monstrous Revenge, giving us an incredible new card, Golden Rule, that helps out with the consistency of this deck a lot. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name description in every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Sapphire Pegasus. Sapphire Pegasus is one of the best cards in the entire deck, because when this card is summoned to your side of the field, you get to place a Crystal Beast monster in your back row as a continuous spell card, which is a great effect to start getting some of your Crystal Beast names into circulation so you can actually summon out Rainbow Dragon. And all of your Crystal Beast monsters share a common effect that if they're destroyed, you can actually put them in the back row as continuous spell cards, which is a great ability for them to have, so you can get a bunch of names on the field. We then play a single copy of Amber Mammoth. Amber Mammoth is in the deck because you're going to be using this card as a name, so you can summon out your copy of Rainbow Dragon. We then play a single copy of Topaz Tiger. Topaz Tiger is a really awesome card in the deck because if it attacks an opponent's monster, it gains 400 attack points during damage calculation only, boosting this card up to 2,000 attack points. We then play a single copy of Cobalt Eagle. Cobalt Eagle is a really good one-of in the deck because it lets you once per turn target a face-up Crystal Beast card that you control and return that target back to the top of the deck, which can be a really interesting combo piece for this deck. We then play a single copy of Amethyst Cat. This card can actually attack your opponent directly, but it only does half damage when it does, so it does about 600 points of damage to your opponent, which can help out in time. We then play a single copy of Emerald Tortoise. This card is a really good one-of in the deck, just to be able to play for the name. We then play 2 copies of Ruby Carbuncle. Ruby Carbuncle is a definite 2-of in the deck, and this card is amazing because when this card is special summoned, you can special summon as many Crystal Beast cards as possible from your spell and trap card zone, which is a great ability for this card to have to instantly bring out as many Crystal Beasts as possible so you can link summon into some really powerful plays. We then play 2 copies of Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. This is the main card you're going to be using with your copy of Sapphire Pegasus, that when you summon out your copy of Sapphire Pegasus, you're going to be able to put a Crystal Beast on the back row, and this is actually the main target that you use. Because this card is a great ability that when an attack is declared involving a Crystal Beast monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. But the really insane effect is you can banish this card, treat it as a continuous spell card, to special summon 1 level 4 lower Crystal Beast monster from your deck, but negate its effects, and if you do, add an ultimate crystal monster from your deck to your hand, which is a great ability for this card to have, because if you normal summon out Sapphire Pegasus, put this card in the back row, then you can banish this card off its own effect, which is insane, and then add a copy of Rainbow Dragon from deck to hand, and put another copy of Sapphire Pegasus on the field, and then make a rank 4 play, which is amazing. This card is really good as a 2-of in the deck, and it's just an absolutely crazy card. We then play 2 copies of Rainbow Dragon. Rainbow Dragon is a really good 2-of boss monster in deck, but we have so many ways to get to this card, I feel like 2 is totally fine. It has the ability cannot be normal summoned or set. This card cannot be special summoned except from the hand, while you have 7 Crystal Beast cards with different names on the field or in your graveyard, which is a really good effect for this card to have because it's very easy to summon in this build, because this deck focuses on getting all your Crystal Beast names on your side of the field or in the grave, so we can summon out your copy of Rainbow Dragon or our Rainbow Dragon fusion monsters. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's a definite 3 of the deck, just to stop the opponent from touching the deck, because it's a great hand trap in this deck. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is a definite 1 of the deck just to stop your opponent from hand trapping you while you're going in for all of your plays. We then play a single copy of Crystal Beacon. Crystal Beacon is really good as a 1-of, because it lets you special summon a Crystal Beast monster from your deck, and you must have 2 or more Crystal Beast cards in your spell and trap card zone to activate this card and resolve it, which is not that big of a deal because we have plenty of ways to put our Crystal Beast monsters in the back row. We then play 3 copies of Rainbow Rainbow Bridge. Rainbow Bridge is really good as a 3-of in the deck because this card has a great ability, but a super simple ability that lets you add a crystal spell trap from your deck to your hand. We have a lot of cards in the deck that we want to search off this card, and this card is just absolutely amazing because of that. We then play 3 copies of Crystal Bond. Crystal Bond is like Rhoda for the deck, but absolutely crazy. It lets you add a Crystal Beast monster from your deck to your hand, and then place any Crystal Beast monster you want with a different name from your deck face up in your spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell, which is a really cool ability for this card to have because you can say search out a copy of Sapphire Pegasus and put Ruby Carbuncle in the back row, and then when you summon out your copy of your Sapphire Pegasus, put your copy of Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon in the back row, which is going to get you so many plays off of just this one card. It can get you like 3 names in play just off of activating this card or more, which is absolutely crazy. We then play 3 copies of Awakening of the Crystal Ultimate. This card is really good as a 3-of in the build, and it's absolutely crazy how powerful this card is because it's a quick play spell. It has the ability to reveal a ultimate crystal monster in your hand, then activate one of these effects. And if you control an ultimate crystal monster, you can activate both of these effects. You take a Rainbow Bridge card or a Rainbow Refraction from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard, which you're usually just going to add a copy of Rainbow Bridge off that effect. And then it also has the ability you can special summon a Crystal Beast monster card from your hand, deck, graveyard, or your spell and trap card zone, which is a really good effect for this card to have because it's going to get you so much pluses, especially since it's a quick play spell that you can set to your side of the field and activate during your opponent's turn if you have multiple copies of this card. We then play 3 copies of Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. This card is a definite 3 on that because this card gives you an additional normal summon for one of your Crystal Beast monsters once per turn, which is super good. And during your main phase, you can destroy a Crystal Beast card that you control or in your hand, and if you do, add a Crystal Spell or Trap card from your deck to your hand. And if a Crystal Beast card is placed in your spell and trap card zone, even during the damage step, you can target one card your opponent controls and return both that card and this card back to your hand, which is absolutely insane. This card does so much for the deck, and it's got one of the best artworks in the entire deck, and I love this card as a 3-of in the build. We then play 3 copies of Golden Rule. This card is definitely a 3-of in the deck, and one of the most powerful cards in this build because this card is always treated as a crystal card, which is really good, but it has the ability to place 2 Crystal Beast monsters from your deck face up in your spell and trap card zone as continuous spell cards. Then you special summon a Crystal Beast monster from your hand or graveyard with a different name than those cards, and if you do, equip it with this card, and when this card leaves the field, destroy that monster, which is just going to put it in the back row as a continuous spell card, which is not that big of a deal. But this card is amazing because it instantly gets you a Crystal Beast monster on your side of the field, essentially being like a premature burial, which is really good, or a special summon from hand, which is insane. And it also has the ability to put any 2 Crystal Beasts that you want in your back row, which is so powerful. This card helps out so much for the consistency and helps you get out your copy of Rainbow Dragon even faster because this is going to get your names in circulation so you can go in for more plays. This card is definitely a 3-of in the deck. And essentially, with your copy of your Rainbow Bridge, a 6-of in the deck, which is really good. We then play 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Pot of Prosperity is just really good in this deck to help you dig into the deck so you can go in for more plays, and this card is just really insane. You can play 3 more hand traps if you want to for a more budget option in the deck, but this card just helps out a lot to help you dig into the deck for more plays. This card is really, really good in this build. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start off with a single copy of Crystal Miracle. This card is just a great counter trap in the deck that is searchable and has a great ability that when a spell, trap card, or monster effect is activated, destroy a Crystal Beast card that you control, and if you do, negate that activation. And if you do that, destroy that card. And if a Crystal Beast card is placed in your spell and trap card zone while this card is in your graveyard, even during the damage step, you can manage to banish this card and then place 1 Crystal Beast monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up in your spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell, which is a really good effect to be able to use with this card, and it's an insane counter trap. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Impermanence is a definite 3 in the deck just to stop your opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spell trap cards if you set this card to your side of the field. The only downside of that is a lot of your Crystal Beast monsters are going to go into the spell and trap card zone, so if you set this card to your side of the field, you're going to clog up your back row a little bit, so be careful of that as you play the deck because you're going to need a lot of back row in this deck free so you can put your name names in the back row. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with 2 copies of Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive. This card is insane. It can go up to 11,000 attack points, which is just insane. This card is super easy to summon in this deck, and it has the ability, it must be special summoned from your extra deck during a duel that you special summoned an Ultimate Crystal monster by banishing the above cards, banishing the above monsters from your field or your graveyard, which is 1 Ultimate Crystal monster plus 7 crystal beasts, making this card extremely easy to actually summon in the deck. It sounds like a lot, but this deck is all about the combo to be able to get this card out to your side of the field and OTK your opponent, which is insane. And while 7 or more of your crystal beast monsters with different names are banished, and this card gains 7,000 attack points, going up to 11,000, which is just super cool. And if this card is not battled this turn, quick effect, you can actually tribute this card and shuffle as many cards on the field as possible into the deck. And if you do, special summon any number of your banished crystal beast monsters, which means you're probably still OTKing your opponent. We then play a single copy of Rainbow Overdragon. This card is great in the deck as a 1-up because you're always going to tribute your copy of your Rainbow Dragon to summon Rainbow Overdragon, so then you can banish your 7 crystal beast monsters and a copy of Rainbow Dragon from your grave to summon out your copy of Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive, which is a long name. But it makes it so that you get 2 monsters on your side of the field, which is just super cool. And this card is great in the deck because you don't actually have to fusion summon this card. You can just tribute a level 10 Ultimate Crystal monster to summon this card to your side of the field, which is a really good ability. We then play a single copy of Bagooska. Bagooska is really good in this deck as a 1-of, just in case you need to put a card on your side of the field to stall out a little bit, and this card is just great in the deck. 1 copy of Lightning Chidori because we play 4 wind monsters in the deck to be able to summon out this card, and it's a great card to be able to bounce cards off the field. We then play a single copy of Number 60. Number 60 is great because it lets you draw 2 and discard a card, double the attack of a monster on the field, or bring back a monster from the graveyard to your side of the field, which is a great effect for this card to have, and it's just absolutely insane. We then play a single copy of a AA Zeus. AA Zeus is really good in this particular build because this card is great to be able to put on your side of the field to board wipe, especially with all the different XZs that we're playing in this deck. We then play for the links. We're going to start off with a single copy of Soryuja. This deck swarms like crazy, so you can summon out Soryuja really easily in this build to be able to help you draw 4 and then put 3 back so you can get more combo pieces, and you have the ability once per turn, you can special summon a monster from your hand, which is a great effect for this card to have. We then play a single copy of World Sea Dragon Zelantis. Zelantis is really good because it resets all of your different effects, which is really good, especially since none of our Crystal Beast monsters are hard once per turns. So this card can be a really powerful monster to be able to play in the deck. We then play a single copy of Access Code. This can pop multiple things on the field and just comes out absolutely massive to help us OTK. And it's just a really good card to help clear the way so we can OTK. We then play a single copy of Appaloosa. Appaloosa is really good to be able to put multiple monster negates on the field if we go first. 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn to spin stuff. IP Masquerade because we can make Unicorn or a copy of Appaloosa during the opponent's turn, which is just really good. 1 copy of Cross Sheep because we do summon out fusion monsters so we can get that really cool fusion monster effect that you can special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard back to your side of the field. Plus, it's an Earth monster to use with Access Code. And then finally, a single copy of a Burning Abyss card, which is going to be our copy of Cherubini. Cherubini's neat in the deck as a 1-of because this card is actually a Foolish Burial for level 3s, so it can actually be made with 2 level 3 monsters. So you can put like a copy of your Tortoise and say Amethyst Cat into this card, and then dump a copy of Ruby Carbuncle to the graveyard, which is going to get you 3 names in the graveyard. And this card basically just sends a name to grave, which is the main effect we're going to use with this card. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Crystal Beast before, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's actually a pretty budget option to be able to pick up, which is really nice. You can change out those Pot of Prosperities for more hand traps if you want to, which is going to make the deck a little more budget. But with the structure deck being released, this deck is actually a really good option for anybody to pick up who wants a budget deck. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can come part of Notification Squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.